Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I am the Y2K collector, and I'm back because I wanted to talk a little bit about a console or a system, a handheld actually, that I don't talk about enough. And I figured I'd share 10 must-have games in my PSP collection. I know I've been doing these must-have videos lately, and a lot of it is because I don't feel like I've shown enough of my collection on my channel. I do have a considerable amount of games, but nothing near where a lot of the leaders in this space are. I'm sure there are a ton of YouTubers who've got, thousands of games to go over. My collection is a little smaller. I'm more of a new collector, I would say. I've always had video games, but in terms of being a collector, like someone who actually looks out for games and pre-orders games and things like that, that's actually occurred within the last, I want to say, 3 years, which to me is relatively new, especially when you consider some of the consoles that I collect for, one of which is the PSP. So I wanted to show 10 games that I needed to have in my collection when I was collecting for the PSP. I don't collect for it anymore because I've gotten pretty much all the games that I want on the PSP. It's a system that I felt was very RPG heavy. I feel like if you're big into RPGs, you're gonna love the PSP. And me, I am more of an action addict. Love me some good action. I love combos, hacking and slashing, bullets, shmups, space shooters, platformers, side scrollers. That's my avenue. And so the games that I'm going to show today have a heavy element. There are a couple RPGs in there, but these are primarily some great action games that you can check out on the PSP. So I'm not going to waste any more time, and I'm going to stop the jabbering and the blabbering, and I'm going to get going on this collection here. So let's kick it off. First one we've got up is the Crisis Core. Final Fantasy VII on the PSP. This is one that I got in a lot. I had bought like a lot of, I want to say 12 to 15 games or so. This came in that lot. And at the time, I didn't have Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1. So I thought that this would be a great way to experience it, probably with some better graphics there, because we all know about those PlayStation 1 3D graphics. Whew. Little tough to digest at times. And so this was one that I wanted to have in my collection, Crisis Core. Definitely recommend it if you haven't played Final Fantasy VII. Check that out. Next game I've got up, not to take too much time, is Castlevania The Dracula X Chronicles. And this is a great Castlevania game for the PSP. Along with this, you also get Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So if you ever want to play Castlevania Symphony of the Night and have that in your hand, well, here you go. You can do that with Castlevania Dracula Chronicles X. Great games, I should say, for anyone who likes the platforming Metroidvania style games. We have another greatest hits here. This is Ape Escape on the Loose. I played Ape Escape. I have the first one on the PlayStation 1, played that. When I played Ape Escape for the first time, it gave me Mario 64 vibes, especially on that second level where you have to swim and do all that type of stuff. Just the way just the graphics of the game. Great game though, great gameplay. And Ape Escape on the Loose, pretty much a PSP version of the first Ape Escape. So check that out. Pretty great game. Next up, we do have an RPG. I didn't completely write off RPGs, but if I'm going to get one, it's going to be a good one. And I think I have a good one here, Crimson Gem Saga. Now, this is a PSP game that I never actually played, never got a chance to get into this one, but it is an Atlas RPG. Pretty cool looking story. At the time that I was researching this game, I think the gameplay and story caught my eye. So this is one that I wanted to have in the collection, and I will get to Crimson Gem Saga soon enough, give you a more in-depth look at that. All right, next up is a game that I kind of have on different consoles, but This is one I needed to have because although I have Power Stone 2, I don't have Power Stone 1. And so owning the Power Stone collection allows me to get the best of both worlds and allows me to get it right there in my hand, in my fingertips. So Power Stone collection is definitely one that I wanted to have. And again, this is the Power Stone 1 and Power Stone 2 games. Played a lot of Power Stone 2 in high school. I remember we would go back and forth between Smash Bros and Power Stone 2. And if you couldn't beat someone in Power Stone 2, then you were yelling at someone to put the Smash Brothers on, so you could take them down in that. Here we have another RPG. All right, and this is Valkyrie Profile Lenneth. This is a PSP game. I got this on the PSP because I was really interested to see what this story was about with this RPG. And I know that it was really expensive on the PlayStation 1. At the time, this wasn't expensive at all on the PSP, maybe about 20-25 bucks. So I went ahead and grabbed that up. And really cool RPG. I played a little bit of it. But, you know, with these RPGs, you really got to sink your teeth into them. You know, they're like great storybooks. You got to sit down and really pay attention to what you're doing and follow the story. They're not like action games where you could just pick up and play. But here is a game that you can pick up and play. And this is a great PSP game. This is also out on the Switch, and that's Prinny. Can I Really Be a Hero? There's a part 2 to this. This is one of the, both graphically and gameplay wise, this is one of the best 2D action platformers I've ever played. The thing about Prinny is its difficulty. This is a very hard game to beat. And I don't know if it's better on the Switch, if it's easier, but this is just so hard. But it's a lot of fun. Very pretty looking game too. Love the graphics. Love the, you know, the whole cartoon feel. Just really great. And it's funny too. Really funny game. So if you haven't played Prinny, check Prinny out. It's a good one, especially if you like side-scrolling platformers. Really great game. Next up, we have Dynasty Warriors Strike Force, which to me, this is just a port of, I think, Dynasty Warriors 5 or 6. I used to play Dynasty Warriors a lot on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. And I feel like this is just a port of either Dynasty Warriors 5 or 6. Plays the same exact way. And, you know, these are just like strategy based hack and slash games where you're kind of fighting on a battlefield and you need to conquer a territory, and the army feeds off of your momentum. You've got special weapons and attacks, and they used to call them tomes. You collect your tomes so that you can do your special moves. And it's just a great game to have. So many games are built off of the whole hack and slash genre, which really came out of Dynasty Warriors. So Strike Force is a great one I would recommend you check out. Then here's some more action. This is back to our 2D action. If you're looking for some side-scrolling, hacking and slashing, 2D style, Guilty Gear Judgment is your game. Really fun game. Played some of it. I think the art style and the graphics are great. And you don't really see a lot of these types of games on the PSP. Just straight kind of like side-scrolling beat-em-up style games or hack and slash style games, and Guilty Gear Judgment definitely falls in that category. So this is one, if you're into the action, that I would definitely look into picking up. That's Guilty Gear Judgment. Okay, and last up on today's list is one that kind of really speaks to me. Love this game. Gurumin, A Monstrous Adventure. This is kind of like an open world 3D action game, and that's the main character right there, and she uses her drill to drill into these new areas, and you unlock new worlds, and you defeat, you know, enemies, and, you know, ghost looking enemies and goblin looking enemies. But this is a very fun game. It's a cool adventure, and if you got a PSP, definitely recommend you checking it out. And those would be, I would say, the top, you know, not my top 10, but those would be 10 PSP games that I would definitely have or start looking for if I was just starting to collect physical games on the PSP. Now, I do have a couple of games that I did pick up towards the end of the summer that I have not shared in any of my end of summer pickups. So I definitely plan on showcasing those, but be on the lookout for my video on Wednesday where I go over some more Sega Saturn games. I really like using these videos as a method of just kind of sharing my collection, especially being a new collector. The video game collecting, I think today is a lot more intimidating than anything, especially if you're going to be going after some retro games. But here on this channel, if you've been following the channel, I don't really do anything past, I guess, generation 5 or generation 6, whatever generation the PlayStation falls into. I don't really do anything before that. So don't really collect any cartridge-based systems, not doing the Super Nintendo thing or the Genesis thing or anything before that. And that's primarily because those games are so easy to emulate, and most of those consoles, they've come out with like a mini version, which I have. I have the Sega Genesis Mini, the SNES Mini. I even got the TurboGrafx 16 Mini, and these are all ways that you can go about experiencing those games. But I'll definitely be sharing more Sega Saturn games with you because I'm not really too much into the cartridge-based games. But that's enough jabbering and blabbering for today. Thanks for stopping by and checking out these PSP games. What PSP games are you into? What games are you collecting here as of late? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for stopping by. I am the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.